So we should give him something. Let's give him something to talk about.
Hey Ash, if y'all joining in on Instagram, we are officially live. You are watching behind the scenes on Instagram. If you're tuning in through YouTube, through Facebook, through Twitter, we're gonna get started in just a second. If you've ever joined one of our live Q&As, drop a one in the chat for me.
So we should give him something to talk about. Cause everybody's talking.
Yes, I love it, timer.
So we should give him something.
And I'm not even gonna hold y'all all night, but we're gonna have a good time tonight for sure. If you're watching from YouTube, you got a different view than you have on Facebook. If you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, you have a different view than you have on Instagram. If you want to see what they're seeing on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, just click the link inside of my bio and click on the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. Oh, we got somebody else in the back. Hey. We're gonna get started in just a second. Y'all can submit y'all questions though. If you got a question, go ahead and put that inside of the chat. Yeah, you can share. Definitely share. Share it with whoever you want to share it with. Share the links. You can join whether, like I said, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, however you want to share it. Definitely, everybody's welcome tonight. This is not private. Normally we would do it in the Zoom, so tonight it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm excited about that.
I love you, Bobby.
Cause everybody's talking, saying that we're on this. So we should give him something. Let's give him something to talk about.
I love you, Bobby.
Cause everybody's talking, saying that we're on this. So we should give him something. Let's give him something to talk about. Something to talk about. Cause everybody's talking, saying that we're on it. So we should give him something.
I love you, Bobby.
Cause everybody's talking, saying that we're on this. So we should give him something. Let's give him something to talk about.
Everybody has their own personal journey. I've taken every single opportunity possible to show the world your business through social media, that is the problem.
You gotta get out here and getting on a little bit more.
It was the flex on your old girlfriends or the girls on the other side that you don't like or the girl that messing with your ex. That's all the shit is about. We gotta get up out of that nigga shit. We don't be want to win. We be on too much nigga, local, neighborhood shit. But we talking about we want to go global. No, we can't go global playing local. We got local mindsets talking about, and some of our mindsets don't even be local. It be neighborhood shit. Yeah. One thing we gotta understand as black people, everybody can't go.
Everybody cannot go. That is the part to remember. Everybody cannot go. So, Truebies. Hello, my Truebies. I am excited to have y'all here tonight. So, if some of y'all list is new, like some of y'all have never rocked out with a Q&A with me before, typically we do this in a like private Zoom setting. And what happens is we typically like go all night until somebody stop asking me questions, right? But tonight we're gonna do it a little bit different. So I'm not taking up too much of y'all time. We're only gonna be here for about 15-20 minutes. If anybody want to stay behind, I'll stay behind and kind of talk to you for a bit. But this show is only going to run about 15 minutes. And what we're going to do is, if you're tuning in, whether you're a person who has an idea you are ready to execute, if you're the person who has a business that you are looking to get started, if you're the person who has a business and you're just trying to maintain that business, this is the time for you to ask questions. Like, we're going to talk about everything, whatever you bring up, whether it's funding, whether we're talking about how you execute strategies, any of those different things. And so what we're going to do in a second is we're also going to be doing some giveaways. So everybody that joined in, whether you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, if you joined in, now you have to be on the live in order to win one of the prizes, but we got about 4 or 5 prizes to pick from. So I'm excited to share that with y'all as well. Especially because a lot of them are supporting somebody that's local. Let's see. We got some questions that's coming in. So I'm going to start taking on some of these questions and start answering those. We got a few people that's going to join us who were here for Wellness Weekend. So we're going to tap into that. Definitely shout out to all of our vendors, our sponsors, and supporters of Wellness Weekend. We have Sisters of Charity Foundation who donated or sponsored Burton Belcar, United Healthcare, Chef DV, Hustle is a Skill was in the building, $1 Million Mission, Kane Industries, Unlock Your Minds. We had Shelly Shenanigans in the building, Ego, MA to Inspiration. Like, shout out to all our vendors for sure. If you did not attend Wellness Weekend, it's okay. We got some replays coming out and you'll be able to catch us next year, 2023. So let's see. We got some questions coming in. So I'm going to accept some of these questions while our people backstage wait. So let's see. We got Ashley B tuning in, and she asked, I'm writing a proposal letter now. What are your tips on asking? Okay, so that's a good question. So really, like, don't be afraid to ask, but my biggest tip is going to be to make sure you build a relationship with those people before you go ask them for their money. Oftentimes people just think like, oh, this grant money out here, it's all of this stuff going on, that I can just go and ask these random people or these foundations for some money without putting in the work or doing doing my homework or vetting them, basically. So the same way you, before you hop in bed with somebody, you gonna like have a conversation with them and so forth, is the same way you're gonna do here. They usually have an event coming up. You want to go to one of those events, show your face, make sure you send an email. Even if you want to do it virtually, send an email so that they know who you are, who your organization is, what it is that you're looking to do, or how they can support you. Another thing that you can also do is they usually have like vetting periods or times where they're saying like, hey, you can submit a proposal between this time and this time. Make sure you have your one pager in line, your who, what, when, where, why. Like, who is it that you are, like, who are you? And then who is it that you're specifically asking for this thing for, or that you're looking to serve? The what is it that you're actually looking to do? Where is it that you're looking to go with these things? all like make sure you are really putting out a clear outline when it comes down to what it is that you want from these people. And then you go in for the ask. I have a proposal template that I can actually share with you all. If anybody want it, like you can send me your emails, or send me depending on where you're watching from, send me a DM, send me a wave, put it in the comments somewhere like that. And I'll go ahead and I'll send that proposal over to you. But another thing is not being afraid to ask. A lot of people think that, okay, I'm not supposed to ask for, like, they look at it like, oh, I'm asking for a handout. So a thing that happened at Wellness Weekend, Wallow talked about creating a good product. If you know you have a good product or a good service, then you putting in a proposal to ask for funding won't be an issue. So the biggest thing is make sure you vet those people the same way that they're going to vet you. Make sure that you're asking them the right questions. Basically, like if you're looking to do something around health and wellness, then you need to make sure the funder that you're asking this thing for, they actually like care about health and wellness. Anybody, if you just joining in, whether you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, or if you're watching the behind the scenes on Instagram, definitely go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Whether you have an idea that you are looking to execute, whether you have a business that you're already in and you're just looking for a way to maintain it, whatever those questions are, go ahead and ask them. Like I said, okay, so we got somebody that's in, we got Christian in the back. So while she's getting set up, we got Christian coming in, we got a couple people coming in who were on Wellness Weekend. We're going to ask them some questions. But if you just got in, like I said, put your questions in the chat. Whether you got an idea you're looking to execute, new business, old business, looking to get into business. While you do that, somebody put pink or blue in a chat, whether you're watching from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you at, put pink or blue. I'm going to pull one of these stickers from behind me. And like, we're going to read it off. This is going to be our affirmation to get us kicking off for today. I'm excited to have y'all in here. Okay, we got, I don't know where y'all watching from. We got somebody watching from Facebook, somebody watching from YouTube. We got people backstage. If you got the link to join, okay, we got blue. If you got the link to join the live behind scenes, go ahead and click it. And then I'll bring you in and we can ask some questions live. If you're on Instagram and you're watching and you want to join live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, I put the link up in the comments so you could comment, like you could, copy and paste that. Blue. All right. I don't know. This is the one that's standing out. I'm shaking, trying to get you. All right. Acknowledge your triggers. This blue says acknowledge your triggers. I noticed for me, I don't know how y'all feeling out there about this one, but like I noticed for me for sure, because this is extremely, okay, for so many reasons this is for me, but let me tell y'all why this is extremely important in business. I think people oftentimes forget that we are human. And so therefore we think like, oh, because we're this way behind scenes or with our family or with our friends, that's not going to affect us in business, or it's not going to go over into business with us. And that's not true. I cannot, excuse me. I cannot tell y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I told y'all, I've been cleaning up. So these allergies killing me today. But I cannot tell you how many tables I've sat at and I was either crying or yelling or cussing or fussing. And it's like, that's who I am behind the scenes. Like, that's who I am when the camera is off. That's who I am when I'm irritated, when I'm irritable, and so forth. And so that carried right over into business. But I can't tell you how many rooms that probably like shot like that. I ain't gonna say kicked me out of, but like, I'm afraid to put her in this space. And then also, I can also tell you how many deals that probably did not close for me, or that I probably walked away from, that I probably should have stayed through, right? And so it's a catch-22, but if you know your triggers, you can remove yourself early, and then you also can make sure that you have, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So you can put tools in place for you to not, react the same way. So for example, when I just had the experience with Wallow, and when he called that morning and he talked about the fact that he might not come that day, like I would have just let my temper get in the way, or because it was a trigger for me. Like, what you mean you're not gonna show up for me? And I didn't did this X, Y, and Z. But I was in the wrong. Like, I'm the one who didn't come correctly. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like, for me, that was a trigger. But if I would have responded in the way that I was used to responding, then that would have been an opportunity that was lost. So identifying your triggers early on is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Because it'll fuck your money up. Let's see. We got another asking for money. That is okay. So we talked about that in proposal. Okay, so definitely drop your questions, Q&As. Make sure you drop your questions. So like I said, we got some people that's gonna join us in a minute. I got some stuff. So I came across this book earlier, right, y'all? So I'm a writer. So this is another thing. Make sure that y'all are writing down like what it is that you want to manifest. I got some things coming up, and I'm going through some books that I had from like 2017, and what I'm seeing is that I wrote this stuff down in 2017 and like I'm just not executing. So it's a couple things through here that I want to share with y'all. Before I jump into that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get ready to do one of these giveaways. So we got a few people that's tuned in. If you tuned in, you have to be following Feed the Soul page. You have to be following the Truly page. And then we're gonna do one of these giveaways. So I'm gonna bring Christian in, and then we're gonna do a giveaway, and she's gonna help me choose which prize we're gonna give away, and then we're gonna jump into a few things. But what I was about to say to y'all was about Gumroad. I put up a post earlier about Gumroad, and what the post was talking about is like affiliate marketing. So when you have a person that you are working with, or a product that you naturally use, or a service that you naturally use, a thing you could do is become an affiliate marketer for that person. And so you're helping them increase their sales, and as they're increasing their sales, you're also making a profit from that as well. So that was dope. I put up a tutorial about that. I actually helped the individual, one of my followers, set up a whole account in like less than 5 minutes. She's on there, she's rolling, posting her content, and she can add any of you as affiliates. So check out Ida Luscious, and that's actually gonna be one of our prizes today. Hey, Christian.
Hey girl, how are you?
How are you? I'm good. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, y'all. So we have Christian Farmer. We just was talking about our wellness weekend and talking about our amazing sponsors. And one of those sponsors was $1 Million Mission, Miss Christian Farmer herself. So it is amazing working with Christian, y'all. Like she's a whole vibe in herself. But like she's so informative. So Christian, we pretty much like you kind of joined in with us right on time. On Instagram Live, we got somebody who asked about like proposals and things of that nature. So while I want to dive into like who you are and kind of recapping Wellness Weekend and all of those things with you, do you mind kind of like what feedback or information would you give somebody, or tips would you give somebody who's looking to write a proposal to ask for funding?
So first let me say it's been such a pleasure working with you, True. I really believe in what it is that you do, what you stand for. I love Feed the Soul, and I've like so much I want to talk to you about, but we'll table that. In terms of a proposal, and I actually am going to do it on Friday. I'm going to do a free grant writing basics class for an hour on Friday. And so in terms of proposals, the biggest thing that I say to people that I'm working with, or people who just need pointers around like writing a proposal, is to answer the questions. So that might seem like a very like duh thing, right? But we have the tendency to be so passionate about what our project is, or what our organization is, and what it stands for. And so we can start to go down a path that what the proposal is asking for will start to give more information than is actually needed. So the first thing that I always say is to read the question and answer the question specifically to what is being asked of you. Like, don't try to overdo it. You know, the funders, they have priorities. They have explicit priorities that are stated on their websites, that are stated in their materials. When they are asking in a RFP, a request for proposal, they are being very specific about what it is that they want to know. And I get that you want to tell them all the 50,000 things that you believe in, and all the 10,000 things that your organization or project has the capacity to do. But what they want to know is, how does what you do align with what they fund? And so it's really important to streamline what it is that you do with what they fund, Because if you start to go off on a tangent and talk about a whole bunch of other things, you have to remember that it's not just one person that will be reading your proposal. Generally, there are several people who are reading your proposal, and some of those people might have different parts of your proposal. And so you want to be very clear, you want to be very succinct, you want to be very direct about how is it that what you do aligns with what they fund. And we have to focus on what that thing is. And so that would be the answer to the question, is that is how you write a proposal, is just by answering the questions.
Okay, so I just want to throw this in here real quick. So what if you are just cold turkey writing something, like you writing a sponsorship request, or like requesting money, essentially still like a form of a proposal, but you're asking somebody for money, or a business or organization for money, but they don't have an RFP out. Like you're just cold turkey writing them. So I was talking about, like, prior to you coming on, saying like it's important to vet them first. Like meaning like let them get to know you, date them a little bit, you get to know them, putting yourself in the right room, sending them an email before, calling the office a couple times, like just getting familiar with them as an organization. But when it comes time to send that email, like would be like one solid tip you would say, like, don't forget to do this?
Keep it short, keep it simple. You want to state what your mission is. And then again, any of the sponsors, or sponsorships generally come from companies, but if it's also a foundation, they have guidelines, so they have priorities, things that are important to them. So you want to highlight the thing that you do that is in alignment with what is important to them. And so you want to be able to make that connection. So you want to keep it short, no longer than one page. That's like 4 paragraphs, each paragraph being 5 sentences. So you want to be very short, succinct. Put your mission, put what you do, why you do what you do, what the vision is, and then you're going to talk about the project that you are sort of requesting them. No, you're going to talk about the project that you are requesting them to fund, and then you are going to talk about some goals that you have around that project, what their contribution would fund, and the impact that that contribution would make. So it is the stating the mission, stating the vision, talking about a little background, little history, how you got into this, why this is important, stating what the goals are from this sponsorship or from this intended fund, and the impact that you intend to make with their contribution.
Dope. Thank you for sharing that, Christian. Like, I hope that was useful. So like if y'all are tuned in, whether it's from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, for one, thank y'all for tuning in. And then for 2, thank y'all for asking the questions. If you are just joining us, you can put in the chat, no matter where you're watching from, put your questions in the chat. If you are watching from Instagram and you want to join and see the same view that they see on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, go ahead and click the link inside of my bio and join the YouTube. Christian, before we jump into like your recap, I need you to help me pick out which gift to give away. So I got a list of gifts over here. We got Chef DV has an event coming up. And it's a taste testing event. So we got a general admission ticket for that. We have a Popple, which is a virtual business card. So it's like a bank card. So wherever you go, you can get it in the form of a card or a sticker or any of those things that's attached to your phone, your keychain. When you tap a person's phone, they get all of your links. So they'll get your business card, your social links, your website, any of those things. And then you'll get one of those for free. We have a tripod to give away, a business credit ebook by Meek University, and some body butter by Idalushes. So I can go through that list again if I need to, but I need you to choose one of those prizes of which one we're going to give away. And if you're tuned in, I'm going to tell you how you can win that in just a second.
I'm going to choose the tripod because what I learned at Wellness Weekend is everything is content. Everything is content.
For real. That's true. So what Christian chose was a tripod. So somebody's about to win the tripod. somebody, no matter where you are watching from, whether you are watching from Cleveland, I see somebody in the house. Is that Houston in the house? Drop where you from. Drop your city, because I think we got some out of town viewers tonight. So somebody is about to win a prize just for tuning in tonight. If you are tuning in, welcome to the live Q&A. Usually we do this in a private Zoom and we go all night. Tonight we are not going all night, but we do got some special guests that are going to come in, drop some gems tonight. We got some prizes we're going to give away. And of course, as usual, you're going to learn a lot of information. So if you got a question, whether you are that person who's looking to execute an idea, whether you already have a business and you are looking to sustain that business, or if you have just this thing, this project you're working on and you're like, I need some information, drop it in the comments, drop your questions in the chat, and we're going to keep going. So somebody's about to win a tripod, right? So this is about to be real cliche. The very first person who can type their elevator pitch in the comments is about to win a tripod. Type your elevator pitch in the comments, and you're about to win a tripod. If you are unfamiliar with an elevator pitch is, this is the perfect time to learn something, right? What your elevator pitch is, it's you explaining who you are and what you do in less than 30 seconds. So in a short blurb, you should be able to say, hey everybody, my name is True. Hey everybody, my name is Alicia Corpany. I go by True. I'm a brand strategist, and what I do is help people scale their ideas from implementation to execution. Spiritual godmother in the hood, guiding youth in the hood to identify their superpowers. But who are you? Who are you? I need a full elevator pitch, and you still got time to win it. But spiritual godmother, is that who you are? Is that your name? So when I give you this funding, am I addressing the check to spiritual godmother? I need a full elevator pitch. Whether you are watching from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, you are eligible to win that tripod. And Ashley, you still got a shot. I need a full one. Everybody got a chance. So Christian, while they are putting that together, it's gonna pop up. Whoever pops up first on whichever platform is who's gonna win it. Let the people know who you are, and then like we're gonna dive into. I want to know, like, what did you gain from Wellness Weekend? Like, how are you feeling after Wellness Weekend?
So my elevator speech is that I am Kristen Farmer, and I am a writer, and I really focus on topics around spirituality, birth, death, sex, and other people's money.
Yes. I love your elevator pitch. So in just a second, I'm going to look at all of these comments and see which one of them won first. But tell me, like, what did you gain from being a part of Wellness Weekend, or even just attending the events, like even the ones where you didn't hit the stage? Like, what was your biggest takeaway?
So much. True, this is something I know because I work with you that you will continue to do Wellness Weekend. But it's so much. It was so soothing. It was more than this notion around like physically feeding the community, right? It's like feeding the community from the inside out, from the soul level, from this very spiritual place. And that is in total alignment with me. So I certainly made connections during Wellness Weekend, met some people that I didn't know, met some people that I met on social media, and finally met them in person. And it really was confirmation and motivation and affirmation around what it is that you want to do. So it was, from all of the speakers on Saturday, I took jewels from every single one around mental health, around social media, around real estate, around the crypto, and that sort of realm around money that you can't hold, that's intangible. And I'm all about other people's money because I am a fund development specialist. And also, of course, still in the deal on Sunday with Meek University and Wallow. I mean, man, like it really melted together. It was like the perfect marriage behind like what it is that you want to do, and then the execution that is needed in order to make it happen. And it was more like this sort of confirmation piece because everybody in there it was like, first of all, you already had like go-getters and risk takers that was in there, because if you showing up to something like that, that mean that you already own it. Like you already want it, you already hungry, and you absorbing the information. Like you want the information, you want to be able to meet people, you want to be able to understand and hear other people's stories, and so it was like the perfect marriage between all of that. It was like the go-getters, and it was like the people who wanted to, really take what they have and like take it to the next level. And that's what Wellness Weekend delivered. When I say wellness, like I said, it was from the inside out. It was like this, spiritual motivation, because that's where it comes from. Like, in order for you to get anything done, it has to come from the inside out. It's not the other way around. It's not this outside in, sort of thing. So then having sort of like-minded people, or being able to interface with people who have done it, who just pulled out all the plugs and was like, you know what, F this, I'm going for it. You know what I mean? To hear and see, other people on that level, it was just super motivating and affirming. And I'm so grateful to be there. I'm so grateful to have been there. And another thing that one of the vendors had brought up that was there too, in Kane Industries, was saying like, rarely do you get to see that it's men that come together to like these events. Like generally you would go to events and it's like all women. Like it be all
Yeah.
women. Women have women empowerment brunches and and stuff like that. But like this was like a really dope mix of.
Yeah, both men and women, and that's something that like it was a few men that stayed behind. Like, so shout out to like Ivy League, Positive Energy, his team stayed behind. Like there was just so many, there was so much like richness in the room, because not only was those men in the room, like they weren't just there to see Wallow, but they were there to execute. They were there to like learn and take back information that they can go and do something with. And so that was really dope to me, because it's like, it's not just us. Like we got our men backing us, and that felt good. Like it was so much more than just talking about health, wellness, and business. Like it was really a highlight of like what it's like when we as people like really stand together and execute on the shit that we say we're going to execute on. So I'm going to tune back over here really quickly and look back through. Let's see. And let's announce our winner before we jump into the next one. So shout out to PK Media 216. Shout out to 216 Kids. Shout out to everybody that's joining in. So welcome. So we have Shantier. Hello, I'm Shanti. I'm a mental health advocate, speaker, and writer. I help you to help yourself heal from emotional and mental issues and traumas through guided journaling. I'm okay with that. Like, how are you feeling about that?
I know who this person is. That was a
I
good.
know who this person is. I know what it is that they do. Okay, Shantier, if you on here, drop me a purple heart. If you on here, drop me a purple heart because you just want a tripod. So you got to drop that purple heart. Let me know that you on here so you can win it and secure it, or I'm going to go on to the next person. Let me know you on here. Drop me a heart. Purple, red, pink, orange, something. Let me know. I'm gonna give you a second to see. And if Shantier don't respond to let me know that she won, I'm gonna go on to the next person who there we go. So she on there. She on there. Hey brother, shout out to my brother, 100 Second TJ. He on here, but he's out in college playing football. So that's dope. So Christian, so tell the people, like, so you talked about managing money. What's the most important aspect when it comes to managing your money, especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur? Like, I always talk about being an entrepreneur means that you haven't all the way made it, or you're still like trying to figure it out. So tell the people, like, how do you hustle forward and not backwards, as you would say?
Planning, planning, planning. PLAN is the key, which is something that we just sort of be like, oh, we don't have time for it. But when you don't plan, then that's when you start to have feelings of anxiety, because you need to know how much money you need in order to get things done that you need to get done. So if you create a budget for yourself to stay like, you know, generally when we talk about budget or what we know about budget is like, oh, I make this amount of money and I need to put into a budget, to figure out, well, how much am I spending on these certain expenses. But what I'm saying is, as a business owner or entrepreneur, you need to create a budget so that you know about how much money you are going to spend or might need to spend. And that helps you to determine, like, okay, well, I need this amount of sales each month, or I need this amount of loan money to ask for, or this is the set number that I'm looking for when I'm pitching to investors and I want them to invest into my business. So you need to be able to have a set number, because that set number in your mind allows you, first of all, it's like cemented in your mind once you create that budget. And then when I swear, like, it's like magic almost. The universe will start attracting people and things to you to where it can help you to reach that number. But if you don't know what that number is, then there's no way for you to reach it. So you need to be able to have a number in mind before you go out and you start to pitch, or you start to apply for a loan, or when you are marketing your product and your services. You need to know how much money that you need. So that would be the key thing. And that, and I also say, when it comes to like loans and things, so if you do go out here and you get loans for your business, because I know a lot of people have trepidation around that, which you shouldn't have trepidation around that. What you should do is, if you do elect to get a loan, then you need to make sure that that money is going to make you more money. If that money is just to pay for fixed expenses, such as the rent or the lease or your office space, right? Or just the bills that come through from the business, then that's a totally different thing. And you need to rethink how you do that. If you are going to use that loan money to then make more money, like, you need to invest this loan money into like marketing, because you know that that would drive your sales up by X amount. Or you need to use this loan money in order to hire somebody who can be another hand for you, so that you are able to take on more clients. Then that's okay to get loan money. But don't get loan money to pay for fixed expenses, because that doesn't give you a return. You only use loan money to invest in things that will give you a return.
Dope. One of the things I thought about when you were speaking is that, like, when you know what you want, it's easier to attract it. So, like, the same way you said with your budget, it's like, if you don't know your budget, then you're just leaving everything up to chance, which means that you might get 500, you might get 200, you might get the 40,000. Like, you don't know what you need, so you can't really attract it. But when you know what it is that you want to do, when you know what it is that you need, or even if you don't know what you need, if you know what it is that you want and you understand your vision and you're secure within that, then it's easy. Or like, what I'm learning without this last week or so is that you automatically attract those things. Like, you automatically attract what it is that you need when you know what it is that you want or where it is that you're going. So I think like that is really amazing, to just see like how that correlates to putting a budget together and so forth. So I got some questions. If y'all are watching, no matter where you watch it from, because I'm going to read them off. One of the things that we got on the screen is talk about write this. One of the things I need you to write down is attitude plus effort equals progress. Attitude plus effort equals progress. So they're laughing at me over here on Instagram because we had some behind the scenes. The kids downstairs banging on the door, y'all. I told them they had to wait. So while they're waiting, I want y'all to write down attitude plus effort equals progress, because it's the same thing to me as work over time equals progress. The work that you put in over time, when it comes down to defining your budget, when it comes down to defining what you want out of your business, what that next project is, what that next campaign is, like, you have to put in the work. You have to do it for a consistent amount of time in order to even see it grow. And I think that's something that like Wellness Weekend really highlighted for me, Christian, is because like, while like a lot of the heavy planning and like the heavy executing happened with like within a 30-day time frame, what I one of these notebooks that I was talking about, it literally had the "This is who I am" tour. It says "This is who I am" tour on there, like literally talking about going city to city, putting people in the same room, putting like building unity, networking, adding value, wellness, mental health. Like it talks about all of those things in one space. And that was 2017. So that was before the first This Is Who I Am conference ever even happened. So it was amazing to me to see that when we write things down, like, and we understand our vision and we understand what we need and what we want, the universe actually brings it to us. So kind of talk to us about that portion. Like you do this metaphysics piece, and like I know that you put that into a lot of your things, from the right end, the fund development, all of those things. How does metaphysics play into what you do in the birthing aspect, fund development, and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, because exactly what you just said is true. Like, if you don't know what it is that you want, the universe will always deliver to you something kind of sort of maybe like what you want, right? Because you aren't clear on it. Like, clarity is everything. Because without clarity, then the universe cannot deliver to you what you claim that you want, because in actuality you don't know what you want, right? So you have to reach a place of peace, and you have to make peace with certain things as well too, in order for you to be very clear, like with no sort of anxiety or hesitation, where you are saying very matter of factly, like, this is what I want, this is my goal, and please reveal to me what it is that I have to do. So a part of this is, if some people may have heard of this sort of process where it's ask, believe, and receive, right? And so it's been in the secret. Abraham Hicks wrote a book about it called Ask, Believe, Receive. And I touched a little bit on this in my talk at Wellness Weekend, when I talked about part of our hesitation and trepidation is around the fact that we are afraid to ask, right? Because we have been taught from a very early age not to ask. And the example that I used was when you were going grocery shopping or going shopping with your mom, before you even got out the car or got into the store, your mother was already telling you, when we get in here, don't ask for nothing, right? So we were conditioned from an early age to think that asking was a bad thing, that we shouldn't ask, right? But if you don't ask, you don't receive. So you have to ask. And when you want something, you better be very clear about what it is that you want. Like, you don't go through a drive-through, you at McDonald's, and you pulling up and you like, I think I want like a burger that might have some ketchup on it, but I don't know, is it some nuggets that maybe you can throw on that burger? Like, no, you going up to that booth and you are saying specifically like, hey, let me get a number one with a Coke, with a, whatever. It's like going to Taco Bell and asking Taco Bell for a cheeseburger. Like, Taco Bell don't sell cheeseburgers, so you in the wrong line, you in the wrong lane. So you got to get into the right lane, and you have to ask within the, I don't want to say perimeter because there's no limitations, but you have to be in the lane of asking for what it is that you specifically want. So if you want a burger, you shouldn't find yourself at Taco Bell. You need to find yourself at McDonald's or Burger King, or you can go to the grocery store and get your own ingredients to make a burger. But the point is, you have to be very clear about what it is that you are asking for. And when you are asking, and when I say asking, you can do that verbally, you can do that through prayer, you can do that through meditation, you can do that through writing down, but you have to ask. And then when you ask, then you can allow things to take place so that you believe that it's coming to you. Like, once you ask, believe that it's coming to you, believe that it's already there. You got to start walking in it as if it's already there. You have to start feeling the feelings that are associated with you already have achieving that goal. And then that is when you receive it. It'll come to you. And it might not seem like that because it feels like baby steps and progress, but a part of it is progress, and then it'll show up for you. So the first thing is you have to ask.
Yes, asking is definitely key. And so I put up on the screen, have you set go impossible? Have you set go impossible? So if you tuning in, whether you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram, put inside of the chat and just let us know, have you set go impossible? And you don't have to go into detail and tell me what that goal is or was that you wrote down, but have you done it? Like, have you done it? Because I think that the difficult, like, people find more difficulty in not asking, or find a difficulty in the ask when they haven't set go impossible, when they're staying just in their environment. Like, one of the things you just touched on is like, you have to be, basically it's like, it's levels to this shit, and you got to be at the level of asking for what it is that you're asking for. Like, don't come and ask me for $100,000 if you haven't made 10,000. Like, everybody always hear the story that Meek University, Tamika always tell where she talk Okay, so my kids knocked us out over here, but we back and we still in action. But for the people who joined us or who stayed connected with us through Instagram, what we did was we continued to talk just in regards about building levels and needing to accomplish accomplish one goal before you try to make it to the next one is essentially what it is. And then also talking about, we're just going into how does trust play a role in that? How does the trust factor play a role into you moving to that next level, or you asking for that thing, or okay, I got you back over here. So yeah, like how does the trust factor play a role in that? Okay, there we go. Hey, Christian. So we got a couple people that just joined us. So I'm going to, let's see. I question some people integrity. So trust yourself was what Ashley B said. I question some people integrity and values. When I first started my business, I trusted everyone in business. Silly me. I have invested my time and money into others only to be played in the end. Okay, so let's go back and kind of dive into this. So if you are just joining us, thank you for joining us. Whether you are watching from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram, welcome to the live Q&A. We've been on here and we almost reached our time, but we got something. The last thing we're going to go over is this trust factor and really diving into the fact of like, how does the trust factor play a role in us reaching that next level and us being able to ask for the things that we want or work with the people that we want to work with. And then I want to circle that back around to what we were talking about before we kind of got disconnected there, Christian, which is how does metaphysics even play a role in all of those things. But Ashley talked about she questioned some people integrity and values. So when we think about the self journey and metaphysics, and then the nonprofit world or just entrepreneurship world as in a whole, like what's something that you would say in regards to like how do you follow your discernment for integrity and values? Like how do you discern and determine like, okay, this person is good to work with or this person is not?
So I think that if you feel a bad vibe or not a good vibe or whatever with somebody, then just don't work with them, right? Like that's the first thing, right? And just weed those people out. However, there's also this other side that like people might present themselves one way to you, but they might be a totally different person outside of what they are presenting to you, right? And so there's really nothing that you can do about this. And I know this is not the answer that everybody wants, right? A part of it is that lessons are always simultaneous. It's not just that you might be learning a lesson on your end, right? It's also that person could be they are learning a lesson on their end as well too, whatever the circumstance or the situation may be. Definitely should trust your gut. Definitely should listen to your intuition. And even still within that, sometimes things just don't work out. But in the grander scheme of things, they do work out, right? So like it might not seem in that moment or in that place, in that space that it worked out, but in a grander scheme of things, it did, because what it did is enhance your level of discernment. It also, enhance your ability to be like, okay, I'm gonna move like this and I'm gonna do things differently, And then, of course, I think too, another thing is to like check in with the people that you are working with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even with working with True, one of the things that I had said too, like, look, I want to check in with you because I want to make sure that I am in alignment still with what you are doing and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like having an open line of communication to be like, listen, is this something that you want me to do, need me to do? You know what I mean? Like how am I leveling up to your expectations? Because I think that a big part of it is that we have expectations, and when people don't meet those expectations, then we like ready to be like, oh my God, it's the worst person ever. They terrible. Oh my God, no. Never, don't work, please. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But humans are not that. It's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of factors that are into that. People have different perspectives. People have different beliefs. the main thing that always trips people up is a lack of communication.
And that's the big one.
It's generally a lack of communication. And if so, people, they're afraid to communicate because then they are already thinking, trying to think 10 steps ahead. Like, oh no, I want to bring this up to this person because then they might think about me or look at me in this kind of way.
And overthinking it.
All of it could be resolved just by a conversation. And sometimes you might have to have uncomfortable conversations, but you have to get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. You know what I mean? If you wish to preserve that relationship, right? And I think that in working, you do want to preserve your relationships. Like you do, but it's something that it's a lesson that you learn. Like sometimes in the past, you might have some wonky endings and things like that. And it's okay, but you learn from that. But make it a point to, when you moving forward, to saying like, you know what, from this point forward, I'm going to have amicable endings with people. You know what I mean? Like whatever, even if that time has come where we no longer need to work together anymore, like that's okay. You can go your way and I can go my way. But there's no need to leave off in a sticky, ugly
situation. And that's perfect. And so I didn't know Instagram had time limits. Look at me having to do more work. But this was amazing. So look, we got a minute and 20 seconds left. The first person who can comment and tell me one thing that we talked about today is going to be our winner of our second prize. And as we wrap up, the one thing I want to cap off for both of the things that were said, or all three things that were said in regards to the trust factors, is that there are 4 levels of trust. And this is the thing I say inside of my notebook. So you got your running mate or your person that's your best friend. You got the person that you can trust, which is just a friend. You have people that are like your acquaintance who they may have a track record that it may be a little wishy-washy, but you are still moving in certain spaces. And then you got those people who have zero trust at all. And so you have to put people inside of the right categories and move according to that. So next time we will dive into more things. But what I want y'all to write down is what business partnership or project need more of your time due to a trust factor. Which business project needs more of your time and attention due to a trust factor? Thank y'all for joining the live Q&A. If y'all got a question that we missed, please put it in the comments. Comment after DM. Christian, thank you for joining us. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you, everybody who joined the live, whether it was through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I appreciate y'all. We are rocking out. Welcome to a Truebies Guide. This is the relaunch of our live Q&As. I appreciate each one of you. This is the episode where we talk about entrepreneurship, business, executing, money management, and everything else it's going to take for us to build a stronger economy and to do it together. So thank y'all for joining and enjoy the rest of y'all night. And if you missed Wellness Weekend, then you missed some amazing stuff. Again, shout out to all of our sponsors. Shout out to everybody that was a vendor who was on the project. We greatly appreciate y'all. Shout out to all of 7 for coming out. And y'all,
everybody has their own personal journey. I've taken every single opportunity possible to show the world her business through social media. That is the problem.
You gotta get out here and get on a little bit more.
It was the flex on your old girlfriends or the girls on the other side that you don't like, or the girl that messing with your ex. That's all the shit is about. We gotta get up all of that nigga shit. We don't be wanna win. We be on too much nigga, local, neighborhood shit. But we talking about we wanna go global. No, we can't go global playing local. We got local mindsets. Talking about, and some of our mindsets don't even be local. It be neighborhood shit. One thing we gotta understand is black people, everybody can't go.